Hey everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Tonight I'm going to be cooking chicken and mushroom risotto. For those of you who need to know, I've already put up my hair, put on my apron and washed my hands, as we always need to do. I've prepared some of the ingredients that I'm going to be needing tonight, and I'll just tell you that this recipe is doubled because my family likes it and always wants leftovers. So I will say the ingredients and the amount that is in the recipe, but know that you're probably seeing about double of that. All right, so first things first, we are going to need these following ingredients. We're going to need butter, 400 grams of chicken, 1 litre of chicken stock, 2 cups of arborio rice, 3/4 of a cup of white wine, 2 cups of mushrooms, 2 tubs of basil and pesto dip, 1/3 of a cup of parmesan cheese, some parsley and some ground pepper to go on the top. All right, all you're going to need to cook this meal is a heavy based multi-purpose pan. That means it can go from the top of the stove into the oven. All right, so here we go. I have preheated the oven to 180 degrees, and right now I'm going to be cooking things on top of the stove, and by the time we've finished on top here, it'll be ready for the risotto to go into the oven later. Right, so I'm going to turn on my pan and put some olive oil in over the base, and as you see, many good chefs, lots of olive oil. First thing we need to cook, as you would probably guess, is the chicken. So I put that in. Don't overcook it, because you're going to be baking it later. So we need to put the chicken in, stirring it around, making sure that you've just got a layer of chicken. And allowing that to cook through a little bit, stirring it obviously so that you can cook all the way around. Okay, so as you can see, the meat is slightly cooked. I've turned it once. Now I'm going to add in the mushrooms so that they cook a little bit as well. But they don't need to cook for as long as the chicken does. Stirring that in nicely, and we'll leave that for another few minutes, and I'll meet you back here on the other side. Okay, so now that your meat and your mushrooms are slightly soft, I'm going to add in 2 cups of arborio rice. With these ingredients, if you don't like mushrooms, you can obviously add in something else like pumpkin or nothing for people who just like chicken and pesto. All right, so here we go. Adding in, whilst it's still cooking, my 2 cups of arborio rice. Now, arborio rice is the best rice for risottos because they absorb the moisture and the flavour the best out of the lot. Remembering that I'm doubling. Right. Alright, so after you've added your rice, you just stir it through and cook it for about 5 minutes until it starts to turn in colour. So we'll stir that through what's already in there. You can see it's already absorbing the oil and the juices that were in there. About 5 minutes, and we'll come back to this. Alright, so now our rice has coloured slightly, as you can see. We're going to add the wine. Wine is very important in a good risotto. Don't worry about it being alcoholic, because the wine alcohol content will actually cook off as it cooks, so you'll have the flavour but no alcohol content. Alright, so 3/4 of a cup of white wine, remembering that I'm doubling, so don't panic when you see me put in 1.5 cups. Now, with your wine, do not choose a very sweet wine. It will not taste very good. So you want, my favourite is a Pinot Grigio. It just makes a beautiful flavour for your risotto. It can be any particular brand, but I find the better the wine, the better the risotto. So you stir the wine through and you allow the rice to absorb that. And cook the, oh, if only you could smell this, just allow it to cook off as we're here. The next step we're going to do after this has absorbed and cooked slightly, we are going to be adding our chicken stock. Now I only use packet chicken stock. I do not do from scratch. You could if you wanted to. I find this is much easier. So 1 litre of chicken stock we are going to put in, but as you put it in, you need to make sure you add it slowly and stir it as you go. Do not just dump the whole lot in at once. So you pour some in, stir it in, pour some more in and stir it in until you have done the whole litre. So I have added the stock to the mixture. As you can see, it looks very, very wet at the moment, but the rice will absorb that as it cooks. So do not panic. In fact, I'll guarantee I'll need to add some more moisture towards the end of cooking anyway. So my next step after those 4 ingredients is I'm going to add the pesto. Now I really like these pesto dips. You can get them from Woolies or Aldi or Coles or anything, but I love the green pesto. I've never tried red pesto because I just think this is the best. So you can also get pesto in bottles, so you don't always have to have fresh pesto. So you add the 2 tubs of pesto. It's not going to stay like that. We're going to mix that in.
Isn't that 1 tub normally?
1 tub? Yes, 1 tub, of course. This is a little confusing. Follow the recipe that I'm going to add with this and double it if you wish. There we go. So 1 tub of pesto, I'm going to stir it in. And that is about my finish for on top of the stove. So I just stir it all through nicely. You're going to get a lovely green look through the whole thing. So you've got your chicken, your rice, your pesto, your mushrooms, your stock and your white wine. That's the basic ingredients for this recipe, but you can add or subtract anything that you wish to put in. Right, so the next thing that I'm going to do, now that I've stirred that through, is I'm going to get my lid for my deep pan. I'm going to put my lid on top, remembering this is very, very hot. So I'm going to get my gloves. I'm going to put my gloves on, open the oven, step back so that my glasses don't fog up. And I'm going to put it in the oven for about 35 minutes, but I can check that about 5 minutes before that time. Stir through once or twice, making sure that it's not getting too dry. Adding some more stock or water if you don't have any more stock. In the oven it goes on 180. Setting the timer for 30 minutes and I'll check it then. 30-minute checkpoint, so Kids, you might need to get mum and dad to help you with this. Always lift the lid away from yourself so the steam goes out backwards rather than towards your face. Okay, as you can see, that rice has really absorbed all of that mixture. Stirring it around. Making sure that it doesn't get stuck on the side. Mix all of that back in. Looks really good. I'm going to taste it and see that the rice is cooked through. If it's still hard on the inside, it'll go in for about another 5 minutes. I don't do this very often. It's usually my husband who tastes things for me. And that is perfect. Just going to let it sit, put that lid back on and prepare the garnish. So I've turned off the oven and now I'm preparing some parsley to just put on top of your dish as you serve it. You can, if you really do like the parsley, you can put it into the dish or you can just have it as a garnish. I've also cut up some Parmesan cheese. I really like the actual block of cheese. And for garnish as well, I'll show you, I'm going to put some basil on top and a knob of butter. So let me do that right now. Right, so I have served into 2 bowls. I find risotto's best in bowls. I am now just going to garnish. So a little bit of Parmesan cheese, or a lot if you like a lot. Some roughly cut parsley. And to top it all off, a little bit of basil, which is what the pesto is made from. So, bon appetit. And don't forget the cracked pepper. Thank you for watching. I really hope that this makes sense and that you have a beautiful meal. I look forward to the next time that we meet, and I will be making probably a dessert, a chocolate sauce pudding perhaps. Check this page.